All right, 6 more new player replays, 2 videos left to do them. Let's go. We got 3 in a row. I did check the rest of these to see if they were functional on the older patch. I can only go back so many patches, and CA's been patching a lot recently, so we're getting into scuffed territory, but so far the last 6 I have all turned out all right, I believe. The players can tell me if it's not accurate, but I didn't see any units standing around or anything that looked buggy, so should be fine. Let's just start from the bottom since we're here. Tyrus Hawks versus CB Ajuro. Now, if you don't know, these replays have not been screened ahead of time for like, oh, this one's super close or this one's super high level, all that stuff. It's just a contest where players played with us before the Bashiva DLC came out, and then they got a guaranteed replay cast on this channel. So they sent in the replays they wanted cast, and I will cast it. Norscan player sent it in. We have a crap ton of Marauder Bearmen with great weapons, and then Marauder Champions with great weapons. Wow. Okay, so just going for as many armor-piercing infantry as possible. 1 Javelin Hunter, Norscan Ice Troll, 2 Famir with great weapons, and then Wolfric on horseback with Hunter of Champions and Seafang, and then a Metal Caster on foot with Plague of Rust and Searing Doom. That's actually a pretty metal box. I like it. A lot of great weapons. Marauder Bearmen are quite sticky, hard to get rid of, so they'll be difficult for the Bretonnian Cab to cycle charge down. It does look like Norsca is just going to take the point and try and hold it, so smart tactics. Interesting. I like it. The other side for his opponent, Mounted Yeoman Archers, Knights of the Realm, Knights of the Lionhearted, Grail Knights, and then we have Alberic on horseback instead of on his Hippogriff, which is interesting. You have a Life Caster with Regrowth, Earthblood, and Awakening of the Wood, Peasant Mobs, Spearmen, and then more Knights of the Realm and Grail Knights on the far side. So this is a pretty strong counter build into Bretonnia. They brought a lot of stuff to kill Skin Wolves, which you would normally see in abundance, but there are no Skin Wolves. Instead, you just have a ton of heavy infantry, which Bretonnia can struggle to deal with. Now, they could counter this by bringing Trebs or Archers or something, but honestly, looking at it is pretty difficult to deal with this many Marauder Champions, especially on Conquest. Land battles, maybe you could just cycle charge into Infinity and heal through it, maybe. But Conquest, you're going to be stuck with a certain amount of time, so Norsca's trying to take the point. Probably should move up a Troll or something to help Wolfric capture, because it's going to take him forever. There we go. Get some infantry on the point. But yeah, time's a waste in Bretonnia. What are you going to do? For now, they're letting their 3 Skirmish Archers counterfire, but, I mean, those are Marauder Champions. 80 armor. Unshielded, but still 80 armor versus Bounty Yeoman Archers. They don't seem too bothered by your shooting. For now, Ken ×2 real fast. I get the Norscan strategy. It's fine. Take the point, hold the point, force Bretonnia to engage with you. For now, they're just getting skirmished, but they're fine. Points ticking up. They're already a 10th of the way there to victory. Bretonnia's trying to figure out what they want to do. They do need to be cycle charging a lot more aggressively. Nice Seafang through the skirmishers, but they need to be cycle charging already because of time. Like, they're just going to run out of time to deal with this, so they need as much time as possible charging, backing off, charging, backing off, charging, backing off, and healing as we get Wrath of Manon and the skirmish. Like, they're doing decent damage to the Marauder Champions, but we're already a third of the way to victory for the Norscans. The Norscans just charge Bearmen into Peasant Mobs. They're like, I'm done with this waiting. Just get out of here, you rascals. Already routing those peasants. Other peasants are engaging now that Norscans kicked it off. There's the first charge from the Knights of the Lionhearted. Norscan Ice Trolls are going to countercharge, but that is a losing fight for them in general without the Marauder Champions, who are at 0 leadership, but actually going to rally up back to 0. Anyway, since they hadn't routed, they actually traded really well in the Knights of the Lionhearted, but if they had routed on impact like I thought they would, then it would have been more like this. You see the Norscan Ice Trolls leadership is faltering. Seafang through the Peasant Mobs and 2 sets of Knights doing really good damage. The Bretonnians are just committing, it seems like, to a lasting engagement. They're not cycle charging, they're just in it, and that is a horrible situation for their Knights against these elite infantry. I mean, even Bearmen are still much more elite infantry than they want to be fighting in sustained combat. You can see the Grail Knights just getting whittled down. Armor is sundered from the Famir, plus, I mean, you're dealing with armor-piercing infantry. Okay. I got her to stop barking again. Dude, I recorded the last set of 3 replays. I took a break for lunch. She didn't bark in all of lunch. And as soon as I start recording again, something outside just trips her off. So now she's locked in the no barking room again. Okay, where were we? Ah, yes. So there are Famir in here, along with the Norscan Ice Trolls, but the Famir with great weapons do hurt quite a lot. High weapon strength, very strong bonus versus large. Pretty pitiful melee attack and melee defense, but they rely on their bonus versus large, so oof. They get a good surround onto Horse Alberic. Alberic, without his mount, I think it's Tempete, right? I think that's what his mount's name is. Anyway, without his mount, his mass is abysmal, so he is just locked down in here. Probably gonna need a regrowth if he's gonna matter in this game. We are halfway through the timer. Norsca's ahead on the balance of power. We tend to agree. The mounted yeoman archers are all out of ammunition, so they try to get anything done, they're just gonna get chewed apart. The counter build against Bretonnia was really good, but Bretonnia's response to it was just a little too slow, a little lackadaisical about starting the cycle charging, and they're not even cycle charging, they're mostly just committing, which is a problem. Their knights are getting attritioned out quite badly. It's not all doom and gloom for Bretonnia. They already got rid of the Norscan Ice Trolls and Famir here are nearly a spent force. They're getting pushed off. Some of the Marauder Bearmen have also attritioned out quite badly, but I mean, the attrition is definitely going in Norsca's favor. They still hold the point. They have more HP left. Bretonnia could back off and heal spam and all that stuff, but I doubt they have the time to do it at this point. Really good Searing Doom onto a blob of Knights. Hurt some of their own Marauder champions a little bit, but not nearly as badly as it hurt the Knights. Man, look at those Knight HP bars. They're all very, very low. Alberic again gets in a bad situation, surrounded by Famir and Marauders with great weapons. As he tries to push his way out of here, he is getting it done slowly. And a Wrath of Manon down 2 units. Decent cast. He'll get some good damage out, but he himself is about to rout in a second. Routing will probably take him to safety. Norsca does not have the mobility to chase him down anyway. Seafang, the final Seafang goes through Grail Knights and Peasants, routing them both off. Alberic is also routing. Balance of Power is going to army loss Bretonnia soon. They just don't have any oomph left, and we still have a full health Bearman, nearly full health Bearman, full health Wolfric, full health Famir, another Bearman, and the caster. Yeah, that's too many. It's too many Bearmen. Bretonnia ain't got the sauce for that. Searing Doom onto the back of 2 mounted yeoman archers, and they were losing that grinding fight anyway. Famir and the Bearmen probably need to get back to the main point. Not that it's really going to cost them too much, but, you know, no point being that far out and potentially getting picked off for no reason. Alberic charges back into these Marauder Bearmen with the last of his Knights of the Realm in a final heroic charge, but it will probably end in his heroic death. He tries to path his way back out of there. He's lost about 200 HP on the charge. Retreating, is routing for the 2nd time. Hunter of Champions down on him. Oof, melee defense of 0 with that, and Norscans are just going to claim it. Marauder Champions have been making a bit of a comeback recently. I mean, it came out on the channel already, but Hayseed and I played Grand Cathay versus Norsca in a tournament, and he brought 6 Marauder Champions, and it was a very close game, but he ended up pulling it out just because I didn't have nearly enough stuff to kill that many heavy infantry. It's brutal. Because, like, that is something Norsca can do, you know? You can just pull out something wildly different than what people are expecting. Like, Skinwolves are some of the best monstrous infantry in the game, and they have the best dogs in the game. But if you bring stuff to kill those and they're just not there, then it's like, oh, okay, well now you have 5 anti-large knights versus almost no large units. Can be good. Let's carry on with, I'll save that one for a bit. I remember enough from its replay review just to see if it was working on the patch or not to know that that one might we need to wait for another day. Duck Sharks replay versus Titus FF. We have Tomb Kings, who are very popular, versus Ogres. For Titus's build, Skeleton Spearmen is fine. Tomb Guard Halberds are good against Ogres, which is good. 3 Skeleton Archers, a Tomb Scorpion for Terror, a Bone Giant for some sniping, Carrion, Cetra on his Chariot, and then Skeleton Horsemen and Necropolis Knights Halberds. I didn't comment too much on the Norscan build because I didn't have too much to say. I saw what they were going for, and I'm like, yeah, I can't improve this very much. I'm worried about this Tomb Kings build versus Ogres in general. There's not a lot of oomph to protect 3 archers, so I think the Ogres will pretty easily just like bowl through your front line. They won't kill it, but they'll get through it and disrupt your archers quite quickly. So maybe go down to 2 archers, maybe just 1, and then use the money to get a couple more spears to have more bodies to put between your archers and the front line. Tomb Scorpion, I get you want some terror, but it is anti-infantry. I'm not sure how good it is going to be versus the Ogre Kingdoms. It's not terrible, I just don't know if it's optimal here. And then Cetron's chariot I'm really concerned about, because with his chariot's mass problems, it is going to get stuck in most ogre units that aren't Noblars. Like, if it's not a Noblar, he is going to get stuck. So I do worry about him just getting in a bad situation, getting beat up. There's a reason you usually see him on his big kitty cat. Higher mass and higher HP gets him to safety more often. So yeah, maybe cut an Archer, cut a Tomb Scorpion, and get like 2 Ushapti for some mass to hold the ogres back from your archers, and then have Cetron as cat mount. Would be my suggestions for the build. Near side for the ogres, we do have a Stonehorn, Ogre Bulls with dual weapons. I thought I saw Man-Eaters. Oh my god, those are Man-Eaters. Okay, Man-Eaters. Golgi Man-Eater, Piggyback Rider ROR, a Lead Belcher, a Butcher of the Great Maw with Troll Guts, and then more Man-Eaters with Iron Fists, more Ogre Bulls. Pretty simple build from the Ogres, and we have the Sky Striders. Crusher ROR, I was just looking to make sure, I was like, wait, they had a caster, right? Because it's kind of crazy not to have a caster with a Stonehorn and Crushers you need to heal up. So the Man-Eaters are on each flank. Interesting choice. Normally you tend to see the most elite stuff towards the center of formations, but flanks can work. I just worry about stuff like this. Man-Eaters get baited into attacking super cheap Skeleton Horsemen, then they get countercharged by Necropolis Knights Halberds, and they're isolated. They don't have very much support, and the support they did have got instantly terror-outed by Cetra. Some of these Man-Eaters are just all alone. They're getting massacred, which is a pretty brutal start for the Ogre Kingdom. So good little bait and switch there from the Tomb Kings. Nice job. Frontline Ogres, gonna try and get through the skeletons nice and quick. Tomb Scorpion stops the Sky Striders. It is gonna take some damage for it, but that's fine. They're gonna be shot by archers, and Halberd support has arrived, so the Sky Striders do need to disengage and get out of there. Stonehorn is here. Golgi is here to disrupt some of the archers. The Cetra's gonna keep rolling, but there go the Man-Eaters and the Noblars on that side, so pretty big loss for the Ogres early. Lead Belcher's firing downhill. Ooh, they're shooting at a Bone Giant. They're much better at shooting spread formation things like infantry or cavalry, but against single entities, their accuracy is suspect, so they're gonna have a tough time with that. Carrying or lurking up above, but the Piggyback Riders are there to peel if they're needed. So the range is getting nicely disrupted by the Ogres, but the Ogres are definitely overcommitting some of their more expensive pieces to bad fights. Like, we can see the Sky Striders got entirely murked in this engagement down here. We saw the Man-Eater over there get murdered. Now Lead Belcher's under attack, and you see the Piggyback Riders turn around and defend. That's why they were left back there. So yeah, I like some of what the Ogres are doing. In other areas they have issues that need to be resolved. Sky Strider's still trying to bail out. The Tomb Scorpion is still slowly crumbling. Now it's finally rallied, and all hope's not lost. If they get a Troll Guts or something, they're fine. They have 10 out of 12 models, so they're chilling. Golgi and the Stonehorn still disrupting the back line. Front line, mixed results. Cetra was able to break this one area. The center front got through spears and then died to halberds, and that flank is going pretty well. The left flanks, the Ogres got through one of their sides. Lead Belchers are just going to get murdered. Necropolis Knights Halberds, after feasting on Man-Eater flesh, do come back here. The Piggyback Riders are trying to peel a little bit, but it's proven tricky. The Ogres have a ton of elite units, so it makes sense they're losing the rest of the battlefield, because like the Sky Striders, the Stonehorn, Golgi, none of those are cheap, so it's hard to spread your wealth around. Ushapti Summon is out onto the Sky Striders, who are struggling to kill the Bone Giant right now. Did they get a heal? They have not gotten a heal yet. Where have your heals gone, sir? Don't know. For the Tomb King, Cetra's doing a really good job. He is peeling largely, which is good. Hasn't committed to any fights with anything of super high mass, which is nice. Routing off the Noblars and helping out your units is good. Leveraging that little bait and switch you did on the flank into getting back on the Lead Belchers and routing everything off there is very nice. And so far, summoning your Ushapti on the Bone Giant just to buy time for it is good. I would worry about you overcommitting the Ushapti to a fight you're already winning, and then like they spend most of the time just chasing unit before they despawn, so this is really good. And the archers you do have, you're just throwing on carbone shooting at the Sky Striders, which is really solid. I like it. Tomb King's player playing good. Cetra now goes to try and snipe the Butcher again, away from Golgi, away from the Sky Striders, away from anything that could actually threaten to lock Cetra down and be a problem. So Cetra is doing Chariot Cetra things and just walking alongside a person. Terror out takes him for a moment, but his leadership is plenty high. He'll be right back. And here come the Necropolis Knights Halberds. Downhill charge onto Sky Striders, who are nearly spent, and I haven't seen them receive much healing. So unless the Troll Guts comes out right about now, they probably are going to rout without it. There goes the terror out for them. It's looking doomed for the Ogres. They're down to just their 3 single entities trying to hold. Still have both your halberds are very, very strong. Necropolis Knights are healthy. Cetra's healthy. So you have lots of stuff to deal with this if you need to. Carrion are coming back to take care of Noblars. Nice job. Did have some rallying lead Belchers. Those need to be dealt with. We have a significant lead on the bounce power. And like point number 158 of why I really don't approve of Chariot Cetra is this. He's been chasing this Butcher for a while and just like can't figure out how to attack him. Now we finally got him. Just as I pay attention, but most of this time he's just been chasing him around doing dumb chariot things. The cat just has better chasing animations, which is important. Bounce power is getting into army losses territory for the Ogres. The Sky Striders did rally briefly, which is a bit of a mistake. Tomb Kings definitely needed to keep them routing as the Tomb Scorpion's gonna go. Sky Striders are gonna clean up some other guys in the back line, but still I don't think it's gonna matter that much here. Stonehorn is gonna route, and that might take army losses with it. Yeah, it's enough balance of power. There they go. GG. Overall solid control, like that. Good job, Duck Shark. Halberds got good value. Archers did their best. Necropolis Knights did fine. Tomb Scorpion actually paid for itself, which is pretty good. For Titus FF, Golgi struggles to pay for himself. There's a reason you don't see him too much, unfortunately. Maneaters got a little isolated. Stonehorn and the Sky Striders did their jobs, though. GG. Okay, and that was that one. We have 2 different Kislev versus Cathay games, and both of them are with entirely different players. Okay. Go with this one. Cheesecake Masta versus King. Kislev Grand Cathay. That is triple ice guard with swords. Away! Why? Why? That was a gold chevron Little Grom too. Okay. For the Kislev build, we have Kislevite Warrior front line, armored Kossars with great weapons, triple ice guard with swords, then an Ice Witch of Tempest with Hawks of Mishka, Biting Wind, and Gust of True Flight, a gold chevron Little Grom, Akshina Ambushers, and a heavy war sled. Gotcha. For the build, Ice Guard, unfortunately, usually quite bad. The Glaive variant are kind of okay somewhat, but I don't know. Kislev, you're going to get outshot by Grand Cathay archer to archer. In most cases, their Jade Warrior crossbows are shielded and armored, so they'll do okay, while your missile strength is not armor piercing. And then in melee, you don't have significant armor piercing on the Ice Guard, so they're going to not do that well against Jade Warriors either. They'll probably beat Jade Warriors, but I don't know if they'll beat them cost effectively. The Wolfhearts being way out in Narnia, I get it, they're a sneaking unit and whatnot, but if a Jade Lancer happened to run into them, you would just get run down immediately. So I think they need to be with your main force, unfortunately. I know it's like tempting to sneak with them, but I wonder what they're actually going to accomplish being way out there. Rest of the build's okay. I'd probably, like, if you're just having fun, then sure, take the Ice Guard with swords, that's fine. But if you want my input of, like, most effective strategy available, probably more armored Kossars and then get some more sleds. Like, cut the 3 Ice Guard, get 3 armored Kossars instead, and spend the money you save on another second sled to disrupt the Kislev backline. Could be better. For the Grand Cathay army, I didn't mention too much of it yet, but we have a Shugen and Lord of Yin with her summon, and then Talons of Night, so good disruption spells there. Ancestral Summon already went out onto Little Grom, but it got peeled off by the Kislev infantry. We have double Grand Cannon, one of which Little Grom has already displaced. And it looks like he actually knocked out all their cannon mounts already. 2 Crane Gunners, a couple Jade Warrior crossbows, and then a very tight box of Celestial Dragon Guard, Jade Warriors, and Jade Halberds. Interesting. So for the cannon, we have 1 model left. Little Grom took it out, so now this cannon crew is useless. So there's no cannons left. And the Crane Gunners can't quite reach Little Grom, so Little Grom is going to be uncontested. Ice Guard already down to half HP from Crane Gunner fire, but they are now in range, so they'll smoke these guys. The Jade Warrior crossbow is being deployed in this fashion. I know it was feeling crowded in the front, but they're just not going to have that many targets on the flanks they need to be shooting at. So Grand Cathay's positioning is getting punished a little bit as the Ice Guard now get in range. Little Grom is going to pick off the Crane Gunners. And their front line is actually disintegrated as they started to move around to try and help out other places. But there is an opening in the front if we could get some infantry there. Dragonblooded Shugenin Lord of Yin has landed into the Ice Guard, tried to disrupt them, but gets boxed in by the Tempest Witch. So now she can either try and push through the infantry, or she can try and get past the witch, which isn't happening. She's going to throw in an Ancestral Warrior Summon, the second one, to try and save herself. And then Ice Witch of Tempest throws out a Hawks of Mishka. Interesting. Trying to damage the Ancestral Warriors a little bit, but also the Discouraged on the Yin Lord could get her to rout. So it's an interesting cast. I don't know if I love it, but it's not the worst. It's fine. Crane Gunners routing, cannons routing. Pretty bad situation for Grand Cathay, as we have heavy war sleds just lurking on the back line, ready to chase anything off. The Yin Lord plus her Ancestral Warriors are actually starting to kick the crap out of the Ice Witch of Tempest, who has to be careful. She might be taking the situation for granted. In comes a Biting Wind, generally a lackluster spell. Let's see how it does with something with 0 armor. It did okay at best. Wow, that is a really long range. Okay, I think that's what it's for, is its range. Interesting. But a little bit of friendly fire. Jadewar crossbows, counter-firing with the Ice Guard. They're doing okay there, but with Little Grom helping over the top, that's not going to go their way. We have some Crane Gunners who have rallied. They do need to turn and start firing, and that is a Snow Leopard summon that will only last so long. Talons of Night is down. Very good cast, killing both the Kislevite Warrior and the Ice Guard with swords. And you sacrifice your already just to summon Ancestral Warriors, so really good cast there from the Yin Lord. Kind of surprised they have that much Winds of Magic early for both summons and Talons of Night this early on. She does need to move, though. She is sitting directly in front of Little Grom with a triple gold chevron. He is going to be able to hit her. She is so close to dead that honestly one Little Grom shot might rout her, 2 might kill her. Oof, the Ice Guard and the Cossars both get a good volley. Now definitely one Little Grom shot will kill her. Another Biting Wind down the line of the Jade Warrior Halberds really doesn't do that much damage. Generally, a reason you don't see that spell too much is it's just very lacking in damage. Ice Guard continuing to pincushion the Yin caster. She's in trouble. Crane Gunners have turned and are once again firing into the main area. Heavy War Sleds are taking a lot of damage. Cathay is still in this due to the strength of their heavy infantry. I don't know whose spell that is, but whoever it is, you're going to hit something because it's going into both of them. Hawks of Mishka, really good cast there. Does not do friendly fire damage, so actually those armored Cossars are perfectly safe. In goes a Little Grom shot up and over the Crane Gunners into these Jade Warriors who are already routing. Yin Lord down to 57 HP. I have seen them rally, but I don't know if she'll get better in time before she hits the edge of the map. Things are starting to look a little dire. Bounce power is 50-50, but here's the thing. Once she goes off the map, a whole bunch of white flags are going to appear above Grand Cathay, and then the mood is going to shift against them heavily. So let's see it. 50-50 bounce of power now. Say goodbye to that cannon. Maybe say goodbye to that Crane Gunner. Definitely say goodbye to that Jade Warrior. That Jade Warrior. Things are getting a little bit spicy. There goes the Crane Gunner. And I wonder if the other Crane Gunner will rout too, just because his nearby friend is routing. It's getting close. The Wolfhearts have appeared. And they're getting shot at by the Crane Gunners. The Crane Gunners rallying in the backfield is actually doing a lot of work. Looks like the Tempest Witch is trying to get back to them now, but she is getting shot on the way in, down to 600 HP herself. 400 HP, but she rallies enough to take out those Crane Gunners. And the other ones aren't even close to rallying, so they won't be able to turn and shoot or anything. There they go. Crane Gunners are routing off. Little Grom, no ammunition, is now just a chariot of sorts, as we do have some Ice Guard continuing to fire at what they can. Nice little hybrid units in that way. And they should be okay. I mean, Kislev should have enough infantry and better leadership to be able to clutch this out. It was looking a little risky, but we're getting there. Ice Witch, 400 HP, but stable. The Kislevite army kind of reforms around Little Grom as a centerpiece, as a beacon of hope to the people of the ice. My kitty cat has arrived. Hi, kitty cat. Hey, buddy. All right, looking around. We have crossbows back. Uh-oh. Crane Gunners and crossbows shooting at the Ice Witch. In comes a Biting Wind onto the Crane Gunners. They had 1 leadership for a second, then up to 9. Down to 6, down to -5. They will probably rout. 43 HP on the Ice Witch. She is dead. Don't call it a comeback? Maybe? I mean, I doubt it. I was feeling really good about Kislev, but I guess they lost their lord. Their leadership's a little better without their lord than Grand Cathay's is without theirs. I mean, a lot of this army is Ice Guard, who are quite stalwart in the face of danger. But it's getting a little risky. Jade Warrior crossbows trying to get back to the battle and rally up with the boys. And is this a Celestial Dragon Guard? No, it's a Jade Warrior. Okay. Kislev's probably still got it if this is just a Jade Warrior. So Little Grom pulls their icy sled into the Jade Warrior halberds. Could be quite damaging for Little Grom, but he's got to do something, right? He's got to participate. Armored Kossar is going to do well here. Armored Kossar's great weapons, better than Jade Warrior halberds and infantry melee. Little Grom not taking that much damage just yet. Jade Warrior halberd's going to rout. Other Jade Warriors fighting Ice Guard. And I mean, this is kind of what we talked about at the start of the game. Like, Ice Guard have anti-infantry, and they're technically more elite, but their lack of armor piercing kind of makes it a bit of a wash. They're just trading even-ish with Jade Warriors. Crossbows are in range, though. Firing up and over into those Ice Guard, popping by our blood as the Jade Warriors think about routing, but more halberds show up to bolster their resolve. Keep them in this fight for just a little bit longer as another volley of arrows comes in, brings the Ice Guard down to 1,000 HP on the nose. But we have Akshina ambushers nearby, so both sides are getting pelted with arrows, and generally Kislev's just doing a little bit better. They're a little healthier. Jade Warrior crossbows looking to kill Little Grom. There go the Ice Guard with swords. Armored Kossars are great weapons coming in. I hope the Jade Warriors don't over-focus on killing Little Grom. Like, you can just rout him and call it a day, but you don't need to, like, pin cushion him. Yeah, the Armored Kossar great weapons are probably a better call-out anyway. So, they're just trying to damage those guys. 60 armor, since they're exhausted. Little Grom is gonna rout. Kislev Warriors flanking the Armored Kossars. There's a pack trap from the Akshina ambushers who are actually on the border of routing. Oh my god, they are going to rout. Cathay all of a sudden takes a lead on the balance of power. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's crazy. Armored Kossars fighting for their lives. Little Grom dies, so apparently the Jade Warriors were focusing it down. Kislevites on the high ground all abandon their posts. They flee for their lives, and that is a come from behind Grand Cathay win. Goddamn. Good game from Cheesecake Master and King. Liked it. The Ice Guard got decent value. They got decent value. Kislev Warriors struggled quite a bit. Akshina ambushers did okay. Heavy War Sled struggled. Little Grom did great. For King, Lord did well. Jade Warriors all struggled pretty hard. Celestial Dragon Guard also struggled quite badly. Crossmen, one did great, the other struggled. Both Crane Gunners did well. Cannons did okay. Wow, the damage values are crazy different between these armies. Like a lot of the Kislev stuff felt like it got really good value, and a lot of the Grand Cathay stuff didn't, but Grand Cathay won. Kislev Warriors definitely letting down a little bit though. GG's. Rawr. Subscribe, yes.